because I told them, if you're going to search my bag anyways, just go ahead and do it, you know, and they said they wanted permission, and I told them no, that I didn't have anything to hide, but I was exercising my Fourth Amendment, and I didn't want them to go through my bag. So we did that for a few minutes, and also our cameraman, Cody, he was filming from across the street, and he came up upon the incident and tried to film that as well.
Yeah, when I came closer, I was actually with Al Jazeera as well, and an NBC representative, and we tried to get closer to see what was happening, and we were quickly told to get away, that we were on federal property, and if we did not, you know, remove ourselves, we would be detained as well.
Yeah, that's right. Wherever they set up these little police states now, everything is a federal event, and then they claim it'll be trespassing to get near their lordships.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had perimeter fences set up all around the city, cops everywhere, bike cops, the Ninja Turtle gear, and we're miles away from the RNC itself, but they're just using it as an excuse to set up this control grid. And
remember, they represent the foreign banks that run the country and brag they've conquered us, who publicly launder the drug money and ship the narcotics in. So that's why they're so tyrannical. They work for big banks that are so evil, drugs aren't enough, they run child kidnapping rings. I mean, let's just remember how evil this government is.
Yeah, well, I did want to point out something that I just recalled, Alex, that right after this incident happened, we stopped at a cafe on the corner, and the Al Jazeera reporters were there, and we went into this restaurant that was attached to the Greyhound station, and they notified us that there was a protester, supposedly a protester, that they saw come out of the gates from behind the perimeter, where the cops are and where all the DHS and everything was, and he was inside there. He was wearing a yellow Resist RNC shirt, dressed up like a protester. It was two guys, and so we went back inside and took pictures of them. So it seemed like they might be using, you know, fake protesters, informants, just like we know they do.
No. They're dressing informants up with vulgar signs, dressed up like sexual organs. It's classic operations. I've caught police commanding the fake anarchists before. I mean, they've been caught all over the world doing this. Yeah, they have synthetic protesters for the media to demonize their enemy, freedom, First Amendment.
Definitely. You know, and we just were out there to document everything, Alex. We were, after being questioned and harassed, they let us go, and they basically just threatened us and told us that anything that we film around there, we could be stopped for, and if we don't show ID, we're going to be immediately detained. And we've just been doing our best to get this word out, because as far as we can see, besides the police state, there doesn't seem to have been too many more beatdowns, but as you said, they've scared off a lot of protesters by entrapping.
Well, no, I mean, they've used dark info war or black propaganda against everybody. And so, hey, the banks are now free to destroy the country and destroy their pension funds, and they will. And so all those cops are going to end up living in total squalor, losing their whole future, but they won't care. They'll still have uniforms. So, hey, everything they want, they're now going to get from their mama government. They're very close to releasing all the hell that they planned for us for so long. Now, I want to get to this article, but first I want to get your take on it and any other points you want to make here. TSA harasses Ron Paul and his wife in Florida on departing the RNC in Tampa yesterday. Ron Paul, his wife, and granddaughter were subjected to harassment by the TSA at a small airport in Clearwater, Florida. 8 TSA goons, I mean, this is like 30, 40 miles away from the other Tampa airport, told the Paul entourage they would need to be screened before they could be allowed to leave, because Mitt Romney might be nearby, which he wasn't. But just Mitt Romney's nearby. He's 40 miles away, his lordship. The insinuation was obvious. Paul and his family pose a threat to the GOP presidential candidate. After a protracted examination of Ron Paul's credentials, the agents demanded they be allowed to check the plane for explosives. They're now boarding private planes. They want to shut down private aviation. Where you got your little Cessna out there, it's over. They run things now. I'm going to go back to you here in just a moment. The incident ended after Ron Paul's wife, Carol, who had a pacemaker, refused to be screened by the TSA, and an aide started taking video. Oh, that terrorist thing. The disgraceful incident serves as a vicious parting shot by the establishment. The GOP has constantly sabotaged Paul's campaign, and the corporate media has either ignored the candidate or portrayed him as a radical that had absolutely no chance of winning the nomination, despite the huge and unprecedented following and popularity of the American people. In March, we posted details from a report by investigative journalists who discovered documents by GOP insiders to sabotage Paul's campaign and thwart his supporters in the primaries during the convention. The establishment media worked in concert with the GOP to refuse to report on Paul, had won the 5-state minimum required to be on the ballot for the nomination of the Republican convention. Yeah, he should have ran third party and spoiled it all for him. He'd got a lot more attention than, his son getting a speaking slot at the whoop-de-doo RNC with a bunch of corpses, a bunch of self-propelled stomachs and living dead, mindless fake neocons that think that the Republicans are going to save him. What a joke. In addition to revealing the links of the establishment and its lapdog media will go to harass, discredit a candidate they consider dangerously unacceptable, the incident underscores the determination of the Total Sexual Assault Unit, known as TSA, to move into smaller airports despite an effort earlier this year by Republican lawmakers to expedite the implementation of a program that would allow airports to opt out of the federal screening. Ron Paul's son, Rand Paul, and senator from Kentucky, was detained last year by the TSA in Nashville. Following the incident, Rand issued a press release. And it just goes on. Ron Paul has told us on this show, as a link to it, that he was also molested by the TSA. And it just goes on to break it all down. What do you guys make of that now? We've got to search you for explosives. Mitt Romney may be nearby in Clearwater Airport, 35, 40 miles away.
It's deplorable. It sounds like just a tactic to harass Dr. Paul and make his, day a little bit more cumbersome. And I think it's ridiculous. They're not going to search Mitt Romney to make sure that he's not trying to cheat Dr. Paul out of his due winnings or something.
Well, I mean, Mitt Romney's got his money offshore, pays almost no taxes, but he's lower level. He only pays 17% when middle class pays around 40%. And so, the real elites pay zero tax. So someday Mitt Romney will be at that level.
Yeah, he hopes to be, but I think that most of us realize that Mitt Romney is just another puppet. He's a useful idiot. He's being used. So I think he's being used to bring Obama in so that Obama can seal the deal in the next 4 years, like you said, and bring in whatever their plan is. But the TSA searching Ron Paul, we saw the TSA on the streets. We saw the TSA in the Greyhound RNC. Going into the RNC, as you guys have mentioned, at Paul Ryan's event. And they're spreading, they're spreading to Metro, they're spreading to the Greyhound, to the train stations, football games.
And hey, football games, but let's remember, this is a group who, on record, they do background checks to hire criminals. It's confirmed. And if you're a convicted or defrocked priest, you become the head of major cities, like Philadelphia Airport. I mean, this is a Stalinistic brigade of criminals. I mean, it's unbelievable that they're criminals, so they're the people that say Ron Paul isn't good. The criminals go after the congressman who's a household name. He can't be trusted, but they, as felons, can.
Yeah, exactly. They expose themselves because they have to lie, they have to cheat, and they have to steal in order to win. And people like Ron Paul and others who stand for liberty and stand for freedom, they don't have to lie. We don't have to cheat. We're already doing what's right, and they know that, so they have to attack us.
All right, we only got about 2 minutes left in this segment. I'm going to come back and hit some final news. But, gentlemen, any other points you'd like to make? Your full videos are at our article. TSA takes over bus stations in Tampa. DHS agents threaten journalists. That's up there right now. But TSA harasses Ron Paul and his wife. It's all up there. It's also in your article, HoustonFreethinkers.com. Any other closing quick comments?
Yeah, Alex, I just want to say thank you for having us on to talk about this. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to be heading next to New York for 9/11 to do some coverage of the police state and the 11th anniversary of that. We're also fighting Floyd in Houston. So we're going to continue to make sure that Houston stays free and that Texas stays free. So thanks for talking with us.
Oh, please don't thank me. Thank you for being out there on the front lines in a country where things are getting very, very dark, very, very scary. Nightfall is happening. I mean, classical signs of hardcore evil are upon us. And so please don't thank me. I want to thank you. If we don't all stand up and say no and let these people know we're not their slaves, they're going to take over. Look at how you've driven them out of Houston for now with their criminal activity. We've got to drive the banker occupiers out everywhere. They are collaborators for the bankers that have bragged that they've captured our country. I mean, the police aren't bad on average, but when they act like this, federal or local, they are aiding the criminal, narcotic trafficking, murdering banks.
Definitely, Alex. We'll see you soon. We'll be out there on the front line.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good job. And, folks, I'll say this, that isn't hyperbole. I mean, the big mega banks launder the money, run the drug aircraft, grow the opium, run the white slavery. I mean, we are in the hands of global ruthless banks who are eugenicists that say they want to spike our food and water to kill us. They're publicly proposing it because they're already doing it. Now they admit it. Reality is off the charts insane. Segment of this hour, and I know I'm ranting, but if you're like going, oh yeah, the government runs child kidnapping rings, just type in NATO, UN, child sex slavery, or white slavery, or Pentagon contractors. It's all protected, just like Fast and Furious. It's only the tip of the iceberg. All of it. I mean, this is a criminal enterprise. The criminals want to be able to rob us and not get in trouble. That's what tyranny is. And it's here. I mean, it's here. The government sanctioned torture, including of children in front of their parents, not with real terrorists. They run Al-Qaeda. We're in trouble. And they get these childlike minds, dress them up in black uniforms. The bureaucrats, they got the neighbors spying on each other. And there's no real terrorists. There never was. So now they're like, it's the gun owners. It's the libertarians. And then those are the very people, a lot of them, the conservatives are like, good, law and order, arrest everyone. Okay, well, it's going to be you. Yeah, there's the Department of State. Stop human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and abuse by international peacekeepers. And there they are. Oh, yeah, you're stopping it. You're running it. I mean, they're abusing the men that work at the Department of Justice, the women are, that rule it. What do you think they do to little kids? These are demons. Who wants tyranny? These people. And it's a lot deeper than Obama. Corruption is racing through our body like a staph infection, like metastasizing cancer. Some of the articles, big breaking news. Operation Mockingbird 2012, New York Times writer leaks story critical of Obama to CIA. Bullets, false flags, and biological warfare. What is the U.S. government planning? Powerful article. Billboards warning of martial law go up in Florida. Groupon offers hugely successful multi-state concealed carry permit class. Don Salazar wrote that. RNC protest vastly outnumbered by cops. Texas students revolt against mandatory RFID tracking chips. We need to get that article out and stand with these people fighting this. That's where it's at. Not about security. It's about acclamation of the new prison cashless beast system. Where are your churches saying no to this? They're just like, praise God, we'll be teleported out of here soon. I declare. It's all up there right now at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com and video streaming at Prisonplanet.tv. Also, Bill Gates funds anti-vaccine surveillance. He wants to know if you're putting them down. Alert system and on-demand vaccine delivery via low-cost unmanned aerial vehicles. That's right. I should have got to this. That should be a top story. Bill Gates wants drones to deliver the vaccine, like the anti-anxiety stress vaccine, where you're never upset again. How many hundreds of times did I say the drones will spray it and you'll wake up with a headache but not be able to ever get upset again? There'll be no more pain soon. Oh, you don't want the fluoride? We have something else, Bill Gates. In fact, that's Cryptome.com. I'm going to get Kurt to post this. It's got the documents. Links to it right there. Isn't that sweet? Unmanned aerial vehicles can be deployed and flown by cell phone to transport vaccines to rural locations. That's Bill Gates' quote. That's MIT and Harvard Division of Health Sciences. Pure hell. Oh, it's all for our security. Sure it is. Sure it is. Bin Laden's in your pants. They got to check there. No, they got to break your will. Don't forget to support us. We're now carrying Interfood, storable organic foods, and all the Interfood products discounted at InfoWarsShop.com. We've got the Modifilin discounted with free citizen rule books, the best seaweed out there at InfoWarsShop.com. And we've got the Pollen Burst Plus with my ugly mug on the cover at InfoWarsHealth.com. Beyond Tangy Tangerine, all of it discounted at InfoWarsHealth.com. Check it out today and support us. And take all the shots, too, because the government wants you to be well. And drink your fluoride, too. And don't listen to us tonight at 7 o'clock on InfoWars Nightly News. It's